Hello, 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 and welcome to a new episode of Pop Culture Therapy. I'm Cruellica Kain.
Hello everybody, it's Advent Nebula.
And today we're here to talk about Isekais.
We have differing perspectives on this one.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love Isekais. I love them in light novels, in manga, and anime. But
it's what takes up the majority of my reading anymore.
Well, a lot of the mangas I've bought and light novels I bought recently are isekais, but the question of the matter is, are there too many? Because looking at the simuldub list for Funimation as one example, we currently have
let's see here.
Ranking of Kings,
Aristofa,
then we have She Professed Herself as Pupil of the Wise Men. We have The Vampire Dies in No Time, which I know is probably not a true isekai, but still that element. So we
Jobless Reincarnation, which actually is probably the best isekai story out right now.
And my site's not loading anymore. But as you see, just from that simple list.
And you have another seasons of Konosuba and ReZero currently in the works.
And then you have Demons, Goblin Slayer.
The Goblin Slayer. You have another Madhouse is producing another season of Overlord.
And then you also have another slime series or something similar to it.
Another season of reincarnation of a slime. Daimachi's got another season coming.
So isekai is a lot, and that's just anime. And yes, many of them are based off of mangas, light novels, and things like that. But you also have, manga-wise, you have I Won't Bother You Anymore, which is based off of an isekai where the main character was originally a villainess, goes back in time. You have I'm now the villainess, and I'm taming the Dragon Lord.
Demon Lord. And I'm not joking on this title. I'm reincarnated as a vending machine and now support the party as a manga. I am not joking about that one.
I'm in a new world with my cell phone. I'm in love with the villainess. This is not a new thing.
Isekai has been around for a very, very long time. It's a genre that really started picking up steam in about 2015, but the genre goes all the way back to Fushigi Yugi and even a little bit earlier than that.
Well, and another series, so one of my friend's favorite series that's an isekai that just got their OVAs re-released is El Hazard. And that was an anime
from the mid-90s.
It was from the mid-90s, and that anime was... So, it was very open to LGBTQ. You had a lot going on in that series, and it was a great series.
And then Kaiju's third favorite anime of all time is an isekai, in Escaflowne.
Mm-hmm. So, isekai has been around forever, and I don't see isekai going away. And I'm not of the perspective that isekai is bad. But the question of the matter truly is...
when does quantity outweigh the quality?
Exactly. Because when I recently went to Barnes & Noble just to peruse their manga selection and their light novel selection, it looked like about 50% now is isekai.
Yen Press, if you actually go onto their website, about 60% of their current releases are isekai, and then everything else.
And it's amazing because it's not just Japan that's eating this up.
No.
America, especially that I was reincarnated into a slime, and admittedly, I don't get this. I don't get it. And
then Jobless Reincarnation, which has become the top isekai, which...
Well, Sword Art Online is still popular. Devil is a Part-Timer is coming back for another season. And that is a reverse isekai, but it's still an isekai.
It's a fun, entertaining concept, though.
Yes, I love Devil is a Part-Timer. And I enjoy many of these series. But it really is that quality over quantity. And even with some of the light novels... Like, I have 2 light novels that I've read. Different authors. Both about a reformed villainess. And yes, they're both great books. And one is the I am the villainess. I am now the villainess, and I am taming the demon lord. And then I will not bother you again. That is literally the title of the book. Note for note, many of the story similarities are the same. And the same thing with I was reincarnated into a spire, I was reincarnated into a slime, I was reincarnated into a skeleton.
And then you have the ones that trash the trope, like Konosuba, which actually does an excellent job of... Also, it's like, hey, I've played D&D campaigns that are just like these 4 characters.
Well, exactly. And
then Overlord is basically another one that's just, I've played D&D campaigns that have been this serious before.
And so the question is at hand, how many more isekais can we have without making people feel like we're regurgitating the same concept? And that, I think, is the biggest fear of mine, is that I love anime, and one of my favorite all-time series, Kyo Karamao, is an isekai. And I just don't know how many more you can have before you've told the story completely. Now, you, on the other hand, eat everything isekai up.
Yeah, I do.
It doesn't matter. It could be good, it could be bad. You will watch it all.
Yeah, let me get into my Crunchyroll account right now, and let me just bring up the current isekais I am watching that are not on your Funimation account.
I know, because I see so many series on my Funimation account. I'm like, did I even want to watch this? Who's watching this? But
it's like the only outlier on my current watch list on your Funimation is Dress Up Darling, but you already knew I was going to watch that.
But Chris Lidge watches some weird shit too. But anyways, that's really the question at hand, is how much is too much?
Here's my current ones on Crunchyroll I'm watching. In the Land of Lindale. Phantom's End.
Oh yeah, Phantom's End.
The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest. And that's just from the current season, what has come out in winter 2022. Let's go to fall 2021, which I have not finished yet from this.
This is a great episode.
Season 2 of Restaurant to Another World.
So...
And there was one other... I'm going to have to actually go into my own queue, because the way they work on the mobile... Because I'm on their beta for their new app. So it's a little
confusing, I have to admit.
Yeah, she was actually looking at their new update on this, and it's very, very different.
So...
Reverse Isekai and the Great Janthe will not be defeated, which I've been watching with Chris Lidge. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated as an aristocrat.
Oh, Jesus.
And Princess Drive Reconnect, which is an isekai based on a mobile game.
Oh, I've heard of that one. So...
And, the one that you actually enjoy. My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom, which you enjoy as well.
Oh, yeah. No, I do agree. And so, with isekai, one of the things that I've seen as a sacrifice for this... Sorry, I found a piece of tape and it was annoying me. Is because the more isekais that are put out there, the less original IPs are available. And because most authors or creators are going to do what is popular for the large scale, what they can make money on, what they can take advantage of for the community in video, in written, and in visual formats.
Yes. And this just happened today as we're recording this. This will be a week out when you're hearing this, and probably have seen the news already. It took 15 years. But we're finally getting a reboot of Spice and Wolf to follow the entire light novels because they became that popular. And the series kind of did get overshadowed because after its second season came out was when the boom of Isekai hit.
Well, and that's exactly it. And you have your mainstays, but even those are starting to get pushed to the side, like One Piece, Dragon Ball's universe. That has had so many delays on getting more out for Super.
That they totally just went, fuck it, we're just going to do movies instead.
And I'm not blaming specifically Isekai for that, because that's not directly a genre's fault. But Isekais are easy to produce. You have a cut and paste structure based on the format of an isekai. If you're going with a shoujo romance one, here is your format here.
There's very little templates for each one of these genres that you're doing isekai for.
And not to say that they're not creative and they're not original in their own right. Like Overlord is a great example of being extremely original.
And it's throwing the tropes on its head. Konosuba is another great example of taking a concept and throwing the whole thing out the window and just turning it into a comedy.
Exactly. So when you have outlying series like that make you feel like, okay, yes, I know this is an isekai. Yes, I know we have a million others, but this just makes it worth it.
Because it's standing out from the rest of the generic.
And so it makes you wonder, how are they going to adapt anime in the future when you have, because this is a fad. Yes, it's been around forever, but it blew up in the last 10 years. But how is this going to change anime in the future? Because are people going to get tired of fads like this?
Well, you saw it in the 90s when the harem genre blew up exactly like this.
Oh, yes. Harem and reverse harems did blow up in the 90s.
And then it got replaced by the isekai.
So, but harem and reverse harems were such a smaller margin of anime.
And then they ended up going to the point where they're I can't believe it's not hentai.
Exactly. But I actually would like to see a revival of more of the, like, dramatic animes. And I'm thinking of, like, Gundam, like OG Gundam.
Yeah, getting back to the roots of we have drama as our main point for our genre, but we have it mixed with something else.
Exactly. And the first season of Sword Art actually did a really good job with that. Then it just kept going. So the question I have for all of you is, what do you think of isekai? Are there too many? Is it like something that you love, or are you just frustrated beyond belief because it doesn't go away?
And or are you like me, where you'll end up, if it has any semblance of plot that you may end up watching it for, you're going to watch it. Or in the case of me, oh, I've read this light novel, let's see how the anime is turning out.
And I think the next aspect is, if it's not something that you enjoy, what would you like to see as the next fad? Because we're coming close to that.
And I think it's going to be, because what you're starting to see is they're reviving older shows that have not had seasons for 5-10 years. I think it's going to be a revival of older IPs again.
Actually, and that's going to be one of our future episodes, is talking about actually series that seem like they may be getting a reboot, a continuation, or a change based on the success of a few others.
Yeah.
So with that said, I know this is probably a shorter episode, but we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.